Hey everyone, welcome back to the D&D subreddit. I massively overestimated how much footage I was going to need for one video, and if I don't use it up now, it's going to be way too outdated to upload, so here we go again! To all DMs. Need a bit of assistance. The issues with DMing comes with writing a campaign in a neat, organized way. I could easily keep writing pages and pages of locations. Just curious if there's, let's see. I've tried World Anvil, don't personally like it. That's fair. It's clunky and complex. It is very World Anvil is complicated because it's robust. World Anvil gives you a very good end product as long as you know how to use World Anvil. I'm gonna be honest. I just use a Google document. This is how I organize my notes. These are the notes for the game that I tried to start that didn't really go anywhere. I have a music heading with a bullet point list. It's been a long time since I actually had anything in the music bullet point list, because it's been a long time since I ran a game that used music, but I always put it there because I just used the same template document. I have a party section with bolded names and italicized players, and then usually a pretty sparse description. I don't take many notes on my players in the main document. What I do is when there's something that I need a lot of detail on, I make a separate document for it, and ideally, if I was more organized than I already am, I would put a link to it in my main document, but I don't end up doing that very often. Then I have allies of the party as the next bullet list, just to keep track of like familiars and mounts and hirelings and such. Then I have important NPCs, which usually starts with the main antagonist and adds in anyone relevant to the story itself. Then minor NPCs, which is anything that happens to be usable or that comes up that I need to write down. Anytime I generate a name, it goes on the minor NPCs list, as long as it's mentioned in the session. In one of my other games, I was using text color as a shorthand to keep track of what gender a character was, but I guess I just forgot to do that for this document. Then I have the locations thing, which is the most complicated one because it's like a really strongly nested list. Granted, this one's not a great example because it just has Olunia and then 5 main things. And then I have these 2 headings with paragraphs. The first heading is the story so far, which is just my notes. Literally my notes of, hey, here's everything that's happened that's relevant to the game itself. And then I have the next step, which is my prep for what's going to happen next in the game. And depending on how far ahead I've prepared the campaign, there will be more and more paragraphs after that. But yeah, that's how I structure my notes. It's not horrendously organized. It's not super efficient, but it works, and it means that I only have to have one browser tab open that's strictly speaking my notes, and the rest of the browser tabs that I have open can be monster manuals or opened to specific pages. I mean, spell descriptions, that sort of thing. Takes a lot of practice. It's clunky. Maybe. World Anvil's not clunky, it's just kind of imposing. That's what I would call World Anvil. I'd call it an imposing website to try and use. The thing about World Anvil is that it's hard to figure out how to use the website without... It's hard to just jump in... Oh, I need to resize my window again. So yeah, I would say World Anvil is difficult to figure out when you just load into the website and create an account and then create a world, and you're like, oh, there's all these buttons here and I don't know what any of them do. And if you're like me, you did not read the tutorial that probably exists. Actually, here, I'm gonna stop capturing my display. I'm gonna make a World Anvil account. I have read and agreed with the terms of service and etiquette. I'm pretty sure I did that when I created my other account, so I'm signed in now, so there shouldn't be anything spooky on the screen. Let's set up your account. Choose your interface theme. Ooh, what do we want here? Bright and white, dark mode, gray with yellow accents, dark mode, blue with cyan accents. I think I like blue and cyan, actually. Whoa. Master Plus subscription is required for this. Well, let's disable that then. Next up, choose your editor. Okay. Euclid. Plato. What? Advanced Design Editor. Interface specialized for creating beautiful, expert layouts fast. Simple editor, best for people who need something easy to use. I think I'm going to go with the stable interface because I like reliability. Hey, look at this Birdman. And we're going to create a world. Will you be using an RPG system? Yes, we're going to use... Wow, that's a... Wow, okay. There are many more options than I expected here. Ooh, Cortex Plus, that's fun. Right, so this is the World Anvil menu, and it's complicated because this is the Create Article page, and I look at this and I think, I don't know what these do. So let's make a what seems the least complicated. Well, how about we make an item? Oh, look, there is a tutorial. Why do I have a notification? I have a total of 1 coin. Where did I get a coin? Remove these ads. No ad. I'm not using an ad blocker. I don't know why this is just an empty space. So I just created a new World Anvil account to make sure that I didn't misremember how the website worked, and I'm gonna be honest, it is not difficult. This website is not hard to use. I literally closed the tutorial. I mean, I have experience with the software. I've used it before, but like, it's pretty self-explanatory if you just start clicking on things and see what happens. It's a pretty good website. I should take more notes using World Anvil. I'll probably use this for the world building series that I'm very likely to do. I mean, all signs point to me doing it. It's unfortunate that World Anvil doesn't work for this person, but it's not really a difficult program. Right, that was a significant tangent. Could I get a basic rundown of how subclasses work? What? Just read the book. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, where rabbit? Why rabbit? When rabbit? What rabbit? No. No. No, no, no. Logically, it would not make sense. What do you want about? How scared would fiends or outsiders be of a being claiming to be Sun Wukong? Probably not at all, because that doesn't mean anything in setting. Help settle a debate. If you cast Speak with Dead and then Speak with Plants, then would you be able to speak with bread? No. These spells aren't self-buff spells, these are targeted spells. Speak with Dead would not register bread as a corpse, which means you can't cast it. And Speak with Plants would not register bread as a living plant when you cast it. So you can't cast either of these spells onto the bread. So no, this wouldn't work. Not according to any sensible interpretation of the rules. Is a bard rogue multiclass effective? It can be. What are you trying to accomplish? If so, what subclasses mix the best? Probably off the top of my head, Valor or Swords and Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler is the Charisma rogue, and Swords and Valor are the martial subclasses for bard. So, but that's just the most abstract, hey, what has natural synergy off the top of my head? Again, this highly depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Best way to 5d4. Oh no. Oh no, dude. 18 minus 1d10. I've never seen that. Well, none of these are the actual rolling method. Maniac. I was curious to ask if I'm the only one who doesn't require components for spells in-game. Definitely not. There are a ton of people who don't. However, am I a bad DM? Based on only this information of, I'm gonna ignore this rule because I don't feel like dealing with it. Probably not. Constantly having to stop and search for components or buy them. You are talking about material components, which are completely eliminated from consideration for the cheap trinkety ones that are just flavor, if they have a spellcasting focus. For the ones that cost actual money, that's a balancing factor. Those spells cost money because you're not supposed to spam them. And as far as verbal and somatic components, you should definitely be using those. Ooh, Weeping Angels encounter. Can you help me with suggestions on how to set up an encounter and run it? Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. I definitely know what they are. Figure out stats. Don't know what to do about their movement and how combat may work. Okay, so the first thing that has to happen is that you have to track vision very, very in-depth during specifically this combat. And that might annoy people. The way vision probably works is that you have a cone of vision, right? And that cone extends basically indefinitely, except for the dark vision rules. Off the top of my head, right, I would probably just say that if a weeping angel is in a vision cone and not obscured rather, that would inflict the restrained condition on them. Well, I suppose it would be the petrified condition. Yeah, so the weeping angels would just have the petrified condition if something is looking at them. And to define looking at, you need to track facing in combat, which is something that you can do. Ended up finding a stat sheet that explains how a looking mechanic would work. This is a link to a Google search. What? The thing is, well, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem with the Weeping Angels. They don't really work as a combat encounter because their basic attack is they touch you and you are sent back in time. A number of years equal to your lifespan, remaining lifespan. Effectively, they have a one-shot kill. Unless they're the nerfed ones from Season 5, where they can't actually use that time attack. They still pretty much just kill you, but, that would obviously have to be simplified to a bludgeoning attack for a balanced encounter. Here's what I'm thinking, right? A Weeping Angel's encounter is not something that you throw out as a combat, it's something that you throw out as a plot element when you decide, I want a story arc set in the past. Because the fail state of one of the players gets sent back in time is the ultimate splitting of the party. Either everyone else decides to throw themselves to the angel at that point, or that player just has to make a new character. Yeah, I don't know, man.